What is going on, guys? Welcome, Crypto FUD. And let's jump right into this. Bullish, what's going on, brother? Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Obviously, Bitcoin hitting a big milestone for today. I tell you, hitting that milestone just feels different this time. I don't know what it is, but it just feels different in the atmosphere. We're gonna go through everything. What happened? Bitcoin making all-time highs, seeing a sell-off. Wasn't just for Bitcoin, it was across the board. Let's figure out what's going on, what the game plan is. Meme coins, are they still running? Are we still going to see altcoin season? We're going to go through all this. Bullish, TJ's in the house. Flip, Roberto Rosales, what's going on, brother? It's all right, brother. I know you got to work. Well, let's just jump right into this. I love seeing all the green in the chat, bro. Nothing but support for the channel, guys. I appreciate you guys. We had a beautiful members-only stream yesterday, so shout out to all the members. So let's just jump right into this. Right now, Bitcoin's sitting at around 108,200. Obviously, today, earlier, literally just like, 2 hours ago, we literally ran up to $109,891.84 is where I have our top at as of right now. So nothing but a major milestone for today. Absolutely crazy. Bitcoin absolutely just, I mean, we knew it was coming, right? We knew it was coming. It's just it's good to see that Bitcoin is just living up to what we always knew, right? That it was going to kill it. It's still killing it, obviously. But what happened after the fact, right? We saw that 109,900, and then literally probably maybe about an hour, 30 minutes later, we saw this massive candle. This is only 2 hour. We see a big sell-off come across the board, and I'm not paying attention. I'm thinking this is just, crypto. And I'm like, well, damn, we just hit all-time highs. It's probably, big players, whales, institutions, they're selling off, taking profits because we just hit all-time highs, right? Well, not necessarily. When we look across the board, looking at the stock market right now, S&P took a massive drop as well, down 1.61%, NASDAQ 1.3%, the Dow Jones almost 2%, the VIX, which is obviously going to be that volatility, always is going to spike whenever there's a lot of sell-off going on in the market, up 15% as of now. And another thing to keep in mind is gold. Gold's been on its way back up, right? Which usually is a leading indicator that people are maybe hedging out of riskier assets and fumbling back into that old school mind frame of gold is where you want to be, where you want to park your dollars. So we'll see how that plays out. Bill, what's going on, brother? Yeah, exactly. Stocks sold off. I mean, it was across the board. And what it shows you is that, and like I said, Bitcoin right now at 108,300 is still absolutely fantastic, right? I mean, we have to take that into consideration that even after a sell-off that we saw, Bitcoin's at $108,000 right now, right? I mean, so we're still right there where we were, right? We're still perfectly fine. If anything, this just kind of just recharged the bulls, but also kind of just should open your eyes and let you know that how fast we move up, we can move down just as fast, guys. We really can move just as fast. And you can see it's like almost like everybody gets the memo and the whale, scene where they're like, all right, yeah, we're selling now. And it's just like, it just moves so fast, right? While you're just looking at it, you're like, oh, it's just a little sell. And then it's just dropping and dropping and dropping. You're like, all right, this is a big sell right here. Right? So right now, things are looking good. Alts actually, right now, if you're looking at the alts, we look at the bubbles. They don't look bad today, right? You wouldn't even think that there was any kind of a volatility for today. I mean, WIF up 13%, Farcoin up 8%, Pi trying to come back at around 12%, Fetch up 6%, Pengu up 8%. You can see across the board, pretty much green, solid green. Not really massive movers, but some solid green across the board for the day. So we're starting to see alts trying to get that confidence and really trying to break out here. The last couple of days, I've been seeing it across YouTube. We talked about this on the members only stream. Frustration that yes, Bitcoin is doing great, but it's like taking all the steam out of the whole crypto space where it's just Bitcoin's running and nothing else is doing anything, right? And it's to be expected This exactly happened last time in the bull run at towards the beginning stages of us really going parabolic. Bitcoin was basically in the limelight, right, and taking 99% of the liquidity as far as what was coming in into the space at the time. But you go 6 weeks after that, after we were making all-time highs, and people started really doubling down and money started FOMOing into the alts, right? So you're seeing even Ethereum kind of lag, right, sitting around that $2,500-$2,600 area, not really going crazy. A lot of people expect, because Bitcoin's at all-time highs, that everything else is going to be at all-time highs. Well, it doesn't work like that. Alts usually are going to be about 6 to 8 weeks lag behind Bitcoin's movement. Now, in order for us to stay on track with that 6 to 8% or 6 to 8 weeks, basically Bitcoin's going to need to hold strong, right? We're not going to need to see like Bitcoin running up and then just coming right back down on some kind of a blow off top. Hold on 1 second here. All right, sorry about that. My dog came in. She always comes in right when I'm streaming. I need to get her on stream one day. Bill said Bitcoin is still way more bullish than the stock market, though. Oh, 100%. And you know why? It's because even a day like today, and we're going to just cover why did we see, obviously, Bitcoin dropping. Well, basically, Bitcoin backs off quickly from record highs as interest rates surge, hits risk assets. So basically, to sum it all up, we're going to read through the article, but today was basically the U.S. did an auction sale for the 20-year bond, and it came out real bleak, where I think there was only like $16 billion of 20-year bonds that sold. And that's a big thing right there. Previously, you would get billions. I'm talking about like hundreds of billions of dollars of bonds being sold because it was a sure win, right? You buy debt off of the U.S., you're going to make money off of it, and they're going to pay back their debt, right? Well, if you go back just a week ago, what happened? Well, we saw Moody's, right? They dropped our AAA credit score down, and that's what they're thinking is the reason why a lot of people are kind of looking at the bonds now for the U.S. and they're like, I don't know if I want to be buying in on any of that stuff right now. And it basically, the market saw that, and risk on assets sold off as of now. So let's see here. So after hitting a record 109.7, Bitcoin quickly fell to about 3% to the 106 area. At press time, the top cryptocurrency was trading at around 107. Let's see here. So other cryptocurrencies took a hit as well, like Ether dropping down to 25.34. Let's see here. The reason is a sale of the 20-year bond sold by the U.S. Treasury Department saw weak demand, what I just said, sending the yield on the 30-year Treasury spiking to 5.7%, its highest level in more than 2 years. A time bomb. So the NASDAQ tumbled 1.5% in just an hour shortly after the news, while the S&P 500 declined 1.3%. This is a ticking time bomb, as I quote, swept under the rug. A longtime fixed income veteran turned Bitcoin analyst prior to this afternoon's poor bond sale. We used to talk about the disaster that would ensure if ever there was a missed auction in a 30-year bond. A missed auction means that there was not enough bids to cover the offering. Were it not for the feds, we would be experiencing a failure to roll over bonds right now, which leads to default. So it's basically, it is a big deal. It's a big deal just because, like I keep saying, you go back even just 10 years ago and people would buy U.S. bonds. They would buy the U.S. debt because it was a sure thing. Now it just doesn't look like it's the same thing. But is this necessarily a bad thing for Bitcoin? And I don't think it is. And you can see from the markets, it really doesn't look like Bitcoin is really affected by this right now. We obviously we're going to run, if you see the US market starts tanking, you're going to see Bitcoin doing the same thing, especially during trading hours, right? Because you have the inflows and outflows of the ETFs. And that's what we saw was all this dropped right around 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time before the markets actually closed. The markets are closed right now, right? So you're seeing not you're not seeing the ETFs affecting Bitcoin right now. You're seeing retail and anybody that's not basically buying off of buying ETFs. They're FOMOing back in to Bitcoin right now, right? Because everything is so bullish. I mean, I think it is. We're still so bullish. I feel like right now, the economy in the United States, and I say this because something close, around it's been a big eye opener that, a lot of people in the United States right now are getting laid off, right? A lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people can't find work, right? And you're talking about inflation right now, right? Inflation probably will start dropping because of the labor market, right? But if you're talking about now the unemployment numbers running up a lot, you could be seeing a lot of big issues, down the road in regards to the U.S. economy, right? Now, is that going to affect Bitcoin per se? Possibly not, right? But I do think that with that coming, there could be other hurdles that could happen, right? That could affect the stock market. And you guys can see if the stock market starts to tumble, it could bring Bitcoin down. We saw it today, right? Even though Bitcoin's like the hedge against all that crap, it still was affected as of today, right? So it's good to see that we are bouncing back. I am curious to see what tomorrow brings. We can actually pull up the futures for the S&P right now and see. Let me see. Do I have? No, this isn't it right here. We can see as of now, if they haven't closed, what the futures are looking like right now. All right, so they did close, I believe, because this is what it was earlier. But you can see, futures are up slightly. It was a little bit of a bounce from where we closed to where we're at as far as for the S&P. So, this right here is a dramatic move for the stock market. Hopefully we'll see a bounce and we'll continue to move because we don't want to be on a run like we are right now, and we're getting turmoil coming from the stock market. Because if you think that the stock market is not going to affect Bitcoin, it is, because unfortunately, let me give you a little secret. Now that we have ETFs, we have all these institutional players that have been buying the hell out of Bitcoin in the last few weeks, particularly, let's not even get into the last year or two, the last few weeks. They're going to be quick to sell if everything else is shit in the bed as far as in the stock market, unfortunately, right? They didn't get the memo that this could be a big hedge, a store of value against the stock market, right? That's why we're in crypto. We're trying to, get away from that normal financial, sector of the stock market and all that other stuff and be in another new emerging, environment that's, has nothing but upside potential with some, downward movement here and there, right? But you got to look at the big picture in the long run. So, Ricky, what's going on, bro? Punk, what's going on? Punk said, where's my dogs at? Art, what's going on, bro? Shad, what's going on, brother? What is going on? So, all in all, guys, honestly, I think things are still perfectly fine. I think we need to enjoy the win that we have for today. Nice all-time high. Bitcoin running up almost to 110K. Almost to 110K. So, and also, alts aren't, going crazy yet, but I was expecting just for, that 3% drop within 30 minutes, I was expecting to see, oh, here we go. Freaking alts haven't even run up yet. And now Bitcoin's taking a crap, even if it's temporary. I was like, alts are going to just start hitting the floor again. So far, alts are doing pretty damn good, right? Ethereum probably is the weakest link for right now. It dropping down to that 25. It actually dropped down to about 24.50. It was up to about 26 earlier. So, I think Ethereum is really the only one that's kind of down for right now. Jasmy's down about 0.4%. So, I'm sure Ethereum will bounce back, and so will Jasmy. So, Ethereum actually still holding support at this. I believe this is the 0.5, if I'm not mistaken. If I zoom out here. Yeah, that's the 0.5 fib retracement. So, still holding support at the 0.5 fib. You guys can see nice little spot right here at around the $2,500 area. So, still looks good. Still need to break this downward trend that we have for Ethereum, in my opinion. So, alts, DeFi right now. Melania, nothing but respect. Melania coin up 9%. Fartcoin, like we said, up about 8%. I always forget how to pronounce this one. Aurum Trust, which is based in like gold on Chronos. DeFi's up. Really, DeFi is kind of just quiet for today. But like I said, alts aren't looking too bad today. Fear and Greed Index still looking in a beautiful spot, right? At that 69 area, gotta love it, right? Right at that beautiful spot where we're not even near extreme greed, right? Because when extreme greed starts poking its head out, we're starting to look for the exit door because things are usually getting overcooked, overbought, and we're looking to probably reposition ourselves when we're getting into that over or extreme greed area. So right now we've been kind of sitting stagnant at the greed, which is crazy to think with Bitcoin running up so high today, and it's really running up in the last last couple of days, really breaking out. The market cap, $3.4 trillion for right now, not looking too bad. We're still haven't broke that high yet that we've hit at around 3.72. Is that 3.72 as a high? Now the reason is, if you're wondering, we haven't hit all-time highs on the market cap yet, but Bitcoin hit all-time highs. Well, because there's not a lot of movement in alts right now, right? A lot of money is just strictly flowing into Bitcoin. And this is something that I was talking about in the Discord and our members only stream yesterday. I'm sure a lot of us, I did a poll in the Discord and I was like, basically quick question, do you own any Bitcoin? Yes or no? And we had 75% of people say they own absolutely no Bitcoin, right? They're strictly altcoins, right? Excuse me. And I understand, I understand frustration right now when you're seeing Bitcoin just going fantastic, but your alts are completely just dormant right now. I mean, if they're up, they're only up, a few percent. They're still technically down. If you look at a lot of these alts, they're still down 50, 60% in the last few months, right? So what's going on with that? Well, like I said, Bitcoin is going to run, right, like it has been, and you're usually going to see a lag effect with altcoins. Sometimes it's 2-4 weeks. Usually in 2021, before we actually started really going parabolic and alts were like solidly, confidently moving up and staying up and just making gains, it was a solid 6 to 8 weeks after Bitcoin made all-time highs and stuck around those all-time high areas, right? So that's probably what we're looking for. Do I think that could be in the next 4 to 6 weeks? Possibly, right? But we would have to have Bitcoin do what it's doing right now and at least stay where it's at or continue to make new all-time highs, right? I personally wouldn't be upset with Bitcoin maybe running up to like 110 and kind of just staying around that area, and we start seeing profits and money flowing into altcoins as well, right? I think that would be a logical kind of move for the whole crypto space as a whole, right? Now, if you talk to a Bitcoin maxi, they're chuckling right now. They're like, hell no, they don't want anything to do with alts, right? They just want Bitcoin. Bitcoin maxis have been living it up for the last 4 weeks. They've been living it up, right? They're looking at everybody else. They're watching these streams and they're just like giggling like because they're making all the money right now. But my friend, it will shift. It will shift over, and your alts that you're looking at every day and you're poking with the stick, they'll come alive. They will. We just need Bitcoin to stay strong. We really do. Excuse me. Getting over a cold here. Let's see here. So, Old, what's going on, brother? Bill said not a bad thing for crypto at all, bro. Exactly. Shad said, can we see a rally for memes after this pump? Exactly. That's pretty much what I'm insinuating, is that you're going to see those riskier assets, aka alts. They're going to start running. It's just going to be a lag effect. It's going to take a little time for the confidence and the money to really come in to the market. Right now, you're seeing all this volume, right? Today, we have about $166 billion in volume. I would probably say 70 to 80% of that is literally buying and selling strictly Bitcoin, right? Because if you really look at Bitcoin's dominance right now, you look at Bitcoin's dominance, it's up. I mean, it's been up, right? But I mean, it's at scary levels. It's high, 64.3% right now. We're actually running up to a big resistance level for dominance, which we hope it gets rejected and we start just cliff diving as far as dominance. Now, this doesn't mean that Bitcoin's price is going to drop. This just means that money It's not strictly just going straight into Bitcoin. It's flowing across the whole sector, right? And that's what we're looking for. Because like I said, remember, I did the poll in the Discord. Now this could be completely different. And let me actually do a poll right now. Let's do a poll. Let's see. I'll give it like 10, 15 minutes. Let's see. You tell me on the poll. Excuse me. Do you own any Bitcoin? You guys let me know. We'll do a poll right now, right? I want your honest opinion, right? Even if you own freaking $1 of Bitcoin, let me know. Yes or no, do you own any Bitcoin, right? Excuse me. Sorry, I do not mean to cough in your ears. I'm so sorry. Now, on another note, something that was released yesterday, very big. Texas approves Bitcoin reserve bill, awaits governor's signature. So the bill was already approved. Texas is on the verge of becoming the third U.S. state to establish a state-managed Bitcoin. The Texas Strategic Bitcoin Reserve and Investment Act, SB 21, has been approved by the House of Representatives with a vote of 101 to 42. The bill now heads to Governor Greg Abbott's desk for the final approval. The SB 21 would authorize the state's comptroller to invest in Bitcoin and potentially other cryptocurrencies with the market cap exceeding $500 billion over the past 12 months. Well, let's see here. Did you see that? They can buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies with market caps that exceed $500 billion. Well, what other cryptocurrencies? I hate saying cryptocurrencies. What other cryptos are over 500 billion? Nothing right now. There's nothing that's over 500 billion. Nothing. So that means right now they can strictly only buy Bitcoin as of now with this bill being passed. So currently, I mean, this is great, right? But it's money only flowing into Bitcoin. You know, it is what it is. It's good for Bitcoin. It is good for the space long term. Not going to bring any money to your alts though. Currently, Bitcoin is the only asset that qualifies. I should have just read the next line, right? The legislation also directs the creation of the formal Bitcoin reserve, positioning the state to diversify its financial strategy with digital assets. The bill's sponsor, State Senator Charles, I'm going to try to pronounce this guy's name, Swather, and House Advocate Rep Giovanni Capricoloni. If he's watching, he's like, bro, put some respect on that. It's Italian. Frame the initiative as a move to secure Texas leadership in digital innovation. So, I mean, this is great, right? Texas, I was looking right here. Excuse me, man. Shit, I have such a freaking dry cough. Let's see here. If signed, Texas will join New Hampshire and potentially Arizona in establishing a Bitcoin reserve. However, not all states have embraced the idea. Governors in Arizona, Montana recently vetoed or blocked similar proposals, citing the volatility of cryptocurrency markets. They will come around the bend when it's too late, and they're going to be buying Bitcoin. Truly, if like these states, I do think they're going to be buying Bitcoin 10 years from now when it's at 200, 300, possibly $1 million, right? So they will come around the bend. And think about it. If you think about it, when Bitcoin gets up to like $400,000, $500,000 per Bitcoin, it's going to be so stabilized, right? We're so used to Bitcoin being at $40,000, $50,000, right? So it's a very easy moved asset with, given, obviously some good chunks of money, especially institutions that are coming in, buying swaths of Bitcoin or selling. It fluctuates a lot, right? So we're used to that. But as Bitcoin continues to build up its market cap, right? And now you're talking about a $500,000 Bitcoin, a freaking $10 trillion asset, just throwing numbers out. I don't know if those would be correct, but you get the gist. Now it's more stable like gold, where if you're having bad days in crypto, it's down 0.5%, or it's down like maybe 1%, or something like the S&P today. Oh my God, the S&P had a massive sell-off. It's down 1.3%, right? Because it's a multi-trillion-dollar asset. S&P obviously is a collection of 500 top stocks, right? But you get the gist. Once Bitcoin gets up there in market cap, it will not fluctuate. And that they're sitting here claiming that that's the reason why they don't want to get into it. Well, they'll buy in when it's not fluctuating, but the price is going to be tenfold then. So places like Texas, New Hampshire, and potentially Arizona are jumping on the wave. I don't know if I would say early, but they're getting in at a great time, right? So Texas, let's see here, Texas, which boasts a $2.7 trillion economy, ranked 8th globally, if it were a country, has already positioned itself as a crypto-friendly state. Governor Abbott has previously expressed strong support for digital assets and accepted Bitcoin donations for political campaigns. Oh, yeah. So that's awesome. That's awesome right there. I mean, I know this news dropped yesterday, but I mean, guys, this is nothing but great, right, for Bitcoin long term. I don't know if this is going to really affect the altcoin sector, just because, you know, they have rules as far as it being, you know, it has to be over $500 billion market cap, unless like one of our meme coins just goes crazy ape shit, right? And now they're forced to have to buy in. Bro, what if Fartcoin runs up, right, and it goes up to like $600 billion, and now Texas has to announce that they're buying a big bag of Fartcoin? Bro, I would just be dying laughing. So checking the poll, wow, I'm impressed. So right now the poll is literally 50-50 right now. Oh, someone just voted. So it's 45-55 right now. And I appreciate you guys with the honesty, right? I can't see who voted or anything like that. I just see the numbers. But you can see the gist. I'm actually impressed that we have, I was thinking it was going to be more like the Discord where it's like 70-30 kind of thing. But it looks like, you know, and you know what? I can't vote, but I would vote yes because I do hold a bag of Bitcoin, but it's so small. I was telling everybody in the Discord earlier, I do look back and I feel like I'm getting to that time, like I've evolved to where I don't mind holding meme coins and stuff like that. But if I had the opportunity and I could go back, what we always say, if we could go back, we'd buy a bunch of Bitcoin. No, I'm just saying if I could just go back simply just like a year from now, a year from where we're at right now and go back, I would probably tell myself just allocate 75-80% of whatever you're going to be investing in crypto strictly into Bitcoin, right? I really would. And this isn't just hindsight because Bitcoin's running and having fantastic, you know, weeks and months right now. It's just long term. We all know where Bitcoin's headed. You know, meme coins, they're going to do great. They're going to pop. But meme coins, we all know when they pop, we're going to jump out of them, right? It's not going to be something where you store value. We're going to hold on to them for the rest of our life, you know, and hand over our fart coin to our kids and be like, all right, Billy, here's this bag of fart coin. Don't you get rid of this, all right? You don't sell it or I'm going to haunt you from my grave. But like Bitcoin, in all due reality, you could do something like that, right? You could literally, you know, hand your family or whoever, you know, almost like in your will, you know? So, excuse me. Crypto, Ricky said Neuron, is it running? I'll pull that up here in a second, brother. Oh, it said it pumped crazy while I was working. Punk said, does Bitcoin Cash count? Not necessarily. Not because it is technically not, you know, actual Bitcoin. Art said, who on whose poll? What the hell are you talking about, bro? Art, what you talking about? No Diddy on that one, bro. Rosales said, Crip, do you think tonight we'll hit 110? We could. I think the only reason why we're not at 110 right now is just because of the little fluke thing that happened in the markets today. To be honest, I think that's the only reason why we're not at 110 right now. You know, so, I mean, you guys can see we did break above all-time highs, just a little, you know, a little pinch above, but we'll take it. As of now, it looks like we found some support at our previous all-time high, which was at 108.3. As of now, we're on the daily. You can see we've kind of found that support as of now So I mean, it looks good. Looks like we're kind of resetting as of now, and we're probably going to continue this track up to, you know, this 109 plus $110,000 Bitcoin. So I think if anything today, you know, just what we've seen, right? The markets have been absolutely on fire, but I think what we've seen today, you know, it just gives you that reminder that, you know, things can move quickly just as fast towards the up. I think they can move even faster towards the downside, right? So luckily right now we have the bulls on our side for Bitcoin. So, you know, I think we're going to continue to keep this track up towards the upside and just keep pointing up. This chart, looking at the daily, just looks, I mean, this is probably one of the most bullish Bitcoin charts I've seen in some time. Like, I mean, 2021 really, for right now, for Bitcoin is nothing compared to what we're seeing now. Like, I mean, what we've seen since 2022 and we bottomed out in Bitcoin, I mean, you guys can see, I mean, Bitcoin has absolutely just gone up. It's gone crazy up. When you really look at when you start looking at like the weekly and the monthly, you really now can see, yes, there are dips, right? But Bitcoin, I mean, just moves up. It just moves up and to the right. It really does. If you zoom out, I mean, this thing just consistently just moves up and to the right. You just have to have patience, right? That's like the biggest thing, is just having patience. And that's why I go back and I'm like, I even look back at just this time just 2-3 weeks ago, and I'm like, damn, that would have been a perfect time. Yeah, would have been buying Bitcoin a lot more expensive, you know, compared to, you know, just last year, you know, but still allocating and jumping in, grabbing a nice bag of Bitcoin would have probably been the move, in my opinion. Now, I say this, and watch, 4 weeks from now when alts are absolutely ripping, you guys can be like, Crip, remember when you said you should have just bought all Bitcoin? And be like, be quiet, Ricky. Let me enjoy this win. Just be quiet over there. Old said he has .1 Bitcoin. That's not bad, bro. That's honestly, yeah, it's a lot more than what I have. Flip said, looking at the coins moving up now with Bitcoin to be the big first movers. Looking at coins moving up now with Bitcoin to be the big first movers. Okay. I mean, what is moving right now? As of now, I mean, let's see. Let's just look at like the top movers for like the 1 hour. I mean, really, there's not, for the top projects, right? There's really nothing crazy moving up in this last hour, right? We have Pengu, which is a freaking meme coin, fart coin, Trump coin. So really, right now, meme coins are slightly, I guess you can say. You know, you have Hyperliquid up. This is in the last hour now. I'm looking at the last hour. I mean, there are some that are doing actually pretty good in the last 24 hours. Let's look at the 24 hours. Dog with Hat. What is this? Monero? Didn't Monero take a shit like a few months ago or a few weeks ago? I'm pretty sure it did. Is this thing starting to bounce back? Pi up 11%. Fetch, we already said that. Athena. Stacks. WorldCoin. SPX 6900. Hey. So, I mean, we're seeing movement on the 24 hour, right? Because obviously Bitcoin's been running, you know, but for like the last hour change, there's really nothing as of now. Everything's kind of been, I think, stagnant, maybe lost some of its gains from earlier. Excuse me. Now, look at the votes now. We've kind of shifted. Remember, we were at 50, and then we were kind of like 45, you know, 45% saying yes. Now look at it. 67% saying no, 33% saying yes. That's pretty much what we got. Same thing in the Discord. Oh, this wasn't the project. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, Monero. I didn't mean to say that about you. Oh, it was Mantra. I'm sitting here like comparing. Yeah, it was Mantra. Look at this. Look at this project in the last month. This thing has just been consistently just moving up. Holy crap. It's a nice chart. Bitcoin right now at 1084, trying to hold that support right now. Right now at around 108,380. Looks like it's trying to really hold that support as of now. If we can hold this support, I mean, honestly, even if we break the support, I'm not really worried. I'm not really worried. You guys know we've seen where we see days where it's like we drop down and then what happens? A day later, we're at all-time highs or we're at local highs. Now, I mean, we're talking about all-time highs now. So I'm not really too worried as of now. I really am not. If you guys were to ask me about tonight, tomorrow, excuse me, Art said we broke all-time highs again, bro. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Not Bitcoin. We haven't been back up to 1099 yet. But what I was going to say is if you were to ask me about tonight, tomorrow, I would say the markets, maybe tonight we'll see, like, you notice how sometimes at late night we've been seeing Bitcoin getting that boost and it starts moving up, right? You're looking, I don't know if you guys wake up, I do it, especially if you're leverage trading. Whew. If you like sleep, don't hold positions overnight, whether you're shorting or longing, because you're going to be like waking up, Ricky. But if you guys are like me, like I said, I leverage trade, consistently. So I'm always like, if I fall asleep for a few hours, I'm like, waking up, I'm like, shit, I haven't looked at the charts in 4 hours. I'm like, damn it. And I'll look, and it's been like that where we've been seeing some good movement towards the nights, middle of the nights, obviously with Euro and the Asian markets, coming in and buying up. So with tonight, could be slightly different, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we see a boost, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if we kind of stay where we're at, or maybe we see a little bit of a sell-off from where we're at right now, given, the news breaking about the whole stock market and stuff like that, for today, potentially, something like that happening. But at the end of the day, I don't see anything for us to worry about. I really don't see anything for us to worry about. The markets still look very bullish and look fantastic right now. I can't wait to where we're coming back in the next couple weeks and we're streaming, and because you notice how, like, I haven't really been pulling up any alts for right now, because it really doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't matter. I mean, we can look at like XRP. It's at $2.37. It's been there. Solana, 169, consolidating, right? So it's not really, it doesn't matter right now for alts. It really doesn't matter. It's Bitcoin show, right? We're all here just watching Bitcoin. But the point of what I'm getting to is I can't wait for the next couple weeks. Hopefully it's not even a couple weeks. Maybe it's the next, week or two, and we see Bitcoin, we see alts start breaking out and they start doing their own thing. That's what I can't wait for. So I'm going to close the poll. So we have 15 votes, and it's 33 yes, 67% no. Basically, majority of the chat does not hold any Bitcoin, but we need to change that. We all need to start buying up some Bitcoin. We definitely do. Tuan said, let's see here. Do you think it's a good hold on, Subcrip, you think it's still good to accumulate or hold it? I'm not putting a big bag. What do you mean though? Like, what projects are you particularly talking about? You're talking about like maybe just adding to your bags of what you own right now? Obviously, first thing I'd say, Tuan, is not financial advice or anything like that. But me personally, you guys know how I run, right? Right now, since we've gotten into greed, right? We were buying during fear, right? The last few, 2 weeks ago, or not even 2 weeks, it's been like maybe a month or now, 2 months. We were buying when everybody was shitting themselves, and meme coins were down 95%. That's when we were accumulating. Now, personally, it's coasting, right? I did add to my Maniki bag. I think it was yesterday when it was like kind of down. I did add to it just because I'm trying to get to that. I was trying to top off and get to that 1 million Maniki, but that was the only reason why, right? And I did add a little bit of Myro as well, just a little bit, because I was like, well, Maniki, I was like, wallet was already open. I was like, let me just add a little bit of freaking Myros down as well, But for the most part, I'm coasting right now. I'm not really accumulating much. I'm not accumulating anything to be right now, right? Kind of just waiting to see when this altcoin season is really going to kick off, which, again, thinking this is going to be probably in 4 to 6 weeks. We probably will see, and I mean, even before then, you're going to start seeing alts. As long as Bitcoin stays at these higher levels, you're going to start seeing alts really coming alive. But I do think that we're going to probably see a nice big move in alts in these next coming weeks, as long as Bitcoin stays confident. All right, not Bitcoin stays confident. The market stay confident. Bitcoin stays at elevated levels, right? Obviously, the biggest indicator is going to be watching dominance. We need dominance to obviously start coming down. And you can see as of now, as we've been talking, it did run up, hit its head at this resistance level, which it is support. If it's above, it is resistance as of now. We do not want this damn thing to break above. We don't want it to break above. We need it to stay down. Stay down. Just relax. That's what we need. So, but with that being said, that's pretty much it, guys. I know it's a short stream today. Like I said, as we start getting in, we're going to start really tackling the alts, right? Today, alts aren't really going crazy. This is the Bitcoin world that we're living in for right now. But don't worry. Your favorite alts are going to start going crazy. So with that being said, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a fantastic night. Members, I will see you guys most likely tomorrow, because we will be getting into the charts on our members only stream. All right. For all the alts and pretty much anything you guys want to jump in on, especially leverage trading. All right. All right, guys. Have a safe night. I will see you guys all tomorrow. All right. See ya.